Metagross is a huge problem for my Floette-based draft team, and the fact that it's paired with Sneasler, who has fast Dire Claw, doesn't really help. But I think I still have a decent matchup this week. And that's because if you ignore those two, Floette is really solid into everything else on the opposing team. It's just Metagross and Sneasler that give it trouble. And I have Mudsdale, so I can throw Mudsdale at Metagross and Sneasler. It has stamina, it's bulky, it has leftovers recovery. And the neat thing is, it doesn't take up a Mega slot. And that's the crux of my strategy. My opponent has two Megas, Mega Metagross and Mega Sceptile. And Mega Sceptile beats Mudsdale, but doesn't trade well with Floette, while Mega Floette loses really hard to Metagross, but beats Mega Sceptile. But I can use both of my two there, and my opponent can't use both because both of them are Megas, and my opponent can only Mega Evolve one Pokemon. Yes, he could bring just base Metagross, but that is substantially less threatening due to not having Tough Claws. So, to quickly go over the team, we have Floette. I went with... it's super physically bulky. This can actually take a Jolly Iron Head from Tough Claws Mega Metagross all of the time. I went with Substitute as the setup move because I figured, like, if Trick Room's expiring, what's a Calm Mind going to do? I'm going to Calm Mind, and then they're going to hit me with Metagross and Sneasler, and I die. But a Substitute might let me actually get another attack off. And so for the same reason, I put Substitute on Mudsdale. Close Combat's just its hardest hitting move. I didn't want a Recoil move because... I didn't want to use, like, Double Edge because this Mudsdale's calc to live a few things on very low health. For example, a max modest Rotom Hydro Pump will leave it barely alive, and I don't want to, like, get hit by that and then drop to Double Edge. So, to Double Edge Recoil, so Close Combat's just its best option to hit, like, Rotom and Sceptile, which it can't really hit otherwise. And then defensively, I calced this to survive, the Hydro Pump, as I said, and then also it survives an Energy Ball from Timid Sceptile. Slowking Galar. This is the first time I've gotten to use this mod. By the way, for this week, just my matches starting really soon. I don't have any time for nicknames, so I'm just going with whatever they had from before. Slowking, triple coverage, Psychic, Sludge Bomb, Foul Play. Foul Play hits Metagross, Psychic and Sludge Bomb cover the entire rest of the team. And then Trick Room just puts Mudsdale and Floette in really solid attacking positions. Regenerator is really cool. This is one of the matchups that I drafted Slowking for because it just has a lot of tools into this team. And I calced it to survive a Mega Metagross and knockoff. Finally putting Sleep Powder back on the Vivillon. Speed Control, Redirection, Healing with Pollen Puff. I dropped Hurricane, but Bug is actually not a terrible offensive type into my opponent's team, so like those Pollen Puffs are still going to hit if I need damage. Scarf Dragapult because Mega Sceptile is actually faster than Dragapult. And I went special just because Metagross is so physically bulky. And then it's just double stab moves, Will-O-Wisp to burn everything, which is a little awkward on a Scarf Pokemon, but I've done it before. It works if you have a swap in the back. And then U-turn just for positioning chips, pivoting after the opponent hard switches, etc. And finally, Swiss Army Knife Arcanine. Bulky, fully special attack invested, Heat Wave Span, Burn Up to make Metagross very sad. Will-O-Wisp can do some neat things like completely disable Sneasler until Sneasler gets a Dire Claw Sleep anyway. And then Hyper Beam just because this thing's... I wanted an attack that... this thing's strongest like non-fire type special attack like is Dragon Pulse. So, besides Hyper Beam, so I'm like, I'm not clicking Dragon Pulse for neutral damage with an Arcanine, so I went Hyper Beam. If I'm planning to click Fire Boost most of the time, even if they're resisted, but if I really need that burst, Hyper Beam's right there. This week I have less of like cores and pairings, and it's more, I'll bring what makes sense when I see what my opponent's 6 are, and then adjust from there. All of my Pokemon are flexible, they can fit together in a lot of different ways. This is the 12th Draft League. I'm currently 3-0 in Swiss. Let's make it 4-0. Alrighty, so we do see the Sceptile. Um, okay, if Sceptile is missing, then my life will become much more streamlined. Double water types, glad to have the Pasho Berry. Okay, yeah. This is about what I expected. I can work with this. Um, okay, they have Sneasler, Sceptile that is Mega Sceptile, Milotic. Gotta watch out for competitive with Arcanine. Metagross, of course. That is Mega Metagross. We have Crocodile and Rotom. So, I think I'm actually going to start out with Floette here because the only things that threaten Floette really are Metagross and Sneasler, and I can swap in Mudsdale into those if needed. Slowking, I think, also makes a lot of sense to set Trick Room. My opponent's team seems pretty vulnerable to Trick Room, especially with the mons that were brought. Like, all those are pretty quick. I'm going to go with Mudsdale, and then, I'll try this. It's a pretty supportive Vivillon, but like all of my other slots are capable of some pretty nice damage, even the Slowking. So this shouldn't be too passive. I hope. All right, Nick, let's see what you've got. We have Sceptile and Rotom. Oh, Floette loves this. Floette eats this for breakfast. Okay, I think I'm just going to Dazzling Gleam and Trick Room. Yeah, if they double Slowking with Earth Power, like, that's not great, but then they're taking a Dazzling Gleam onto their Dragon-type Mega, and they can't make a Metagross, so I'm totally okay with that. Trick from Rotom onto Slowking would be extremely funny. Of a Choice Scarf, that would be. But, I can still play... That's a Rotom Josh? Alright, we do see the Mega Evolution from Mega Sceptile, so there will not be a Mega Evolution from Metagross this game. Mega Evolve in turn. They go for the Discharge. Okay, that has to be Scarf Rotom then, like, for sure. They go for the Earth Power, but the tanky Slowking just eats it, even after the Discharge damage. And I dodge Paralysis, and I get a Dazzling Gleam off. Okay, it actually takes that. I am a bold, not very specially attack-invested Floette. But this works out. This is great. I am very happy with my current position. Notably, Dazzling Gleam did just about half to Rotom. So another Dazzling Gleam might not necessarily pick up, but like, what's a Discharge gonna do? I'm just actually gonna get Mudsdale in now, so I can start doing Trick Room attacking, get some Regenerator healing as well, and then I see no reason to not just like Dazzling Gleam again. There's not really anything my opponent can swap in that I'm scared of, and if the Rotom survives on 1 HP, like I'm very okay with that. Particularly because it can't Hydro Pump. It was revealed on turn 1 to be Scarfed, and if it's Scarfed into Electro Web, Mudsdale is not scared of it. Oh, he's just gonna let me Degleam. Okay. Yeah, as I said, I was fine with Rotom surviving this, and I stand by that. I mean, not Scarfed into Electro, Scarfed into Discharge, but, same result. Now I can Dazzling Gleam again, and Rotom actually cannot protect. Alright, so, in the back, I think it has to be like Milotic or Crocodile, right? And this Crocodile, like, it might be able to like gunk shot my Floette. Uh, slide Josh the Bailotic. Oh, this is great. There is absolutely nothing that my Lodic can do here. I think I like. Yeah, okay, I mean it can attack Mudsail, but like I can take a hit, and I mean high horsepower. It's still gonna slap. Dazzling Gleam high horsepower is a pretty solid double up, and yeah, like Rotom can swap, but what's it swapping into? The only thing that can take a Dazzling Gleam is a Metagross, and then what are you doing? You have a Metagross that can't Mega Evolve in front of Mudsdale. I'm very okay with that. Yeah, Mudsdale is really meant to be like the stamina boosted, uh, like defensive swap in here, but like that's just over half. Mudsdale is so strong. Like unironically, this mod is great. Oh, Mirko. Okay, that just takes out Floette. That's cool. I'm okay with losing Floette in this position. Mirko's good tech. I'd rather get the information now when the game is pretty much sealed. When game one's pretty much sealed, then yeah, I'll go Slowking here. I mean, I could lose from here, but nope, I cannot lose from here. This I legitimately do not think I can lose from here. Oh, happy B-Day, yeah. Today I have my birthday party after this. It's a celebratory day. So yeah, I'm gonna do this. It's the only way I don't take a knockout here, like no matter what, is if there's protects or focus sash on Sneasler, which is information I'd want now anyway. Yeah, no, I'm very okay with that. And it has Scald. So, alright, I'll write down my Lodic has Mirror Coat, Scald. We haven't seen item there. Sneasler, not Sash. We've only seen Fake Out. Sceptile has Earth Power. We haven't seen Metagross, we haven't seen Crocodile. Rotom is Scarf, Discharge, and didn't seem particularly bulky. Well, that went about as well as it possibly could have. I led. My theory was that if I lead Floette, I can either handle my opponent's lead or I can swap into Mudsdale, which is a great swap in to anything that threatens Floette. And like that's like the worst case scenario where the game's like still playable. But my opponent just led two things that lose to Floette, and I led Floette, and so I clicked Floette buttons, and that was the game. I cannot really complain about that at all. Slowking surviving the +1 Earth Power was huge, but like Slowking's bulky, you know, like especially on the special side, like, and it was a non-stab Earth Power, so like I wasn't certain about it, but I wasn't too surprised either. Okay, I'm actually gonna swap things up a little, or I mean, my theory was sound. I think. Do I really? Do I have any reason to do like anything else? I think my opponent's more likely to lead Metagross this time. Is there like a way I can reasonably punish that? And I think I could lead these, bring Mudsdale in the back. I don't need Trick Room, though I think I want it still, so I'm just gonna bring the same 4 different order. Sleep Powder will help slow the game down for damage trading if I have to pivot around. And this way, if my opponent is doing like a Crocodile lead to hard stop Trick Room, I don't have an exposed Slowking on turn 1. Because, well, I did mention that Mudsdale is a great swap in. It cannot swap in for both Floette and Slowking at the same time. Alrighty, let's hopefully make this a clean 2-0. There are two other people who are 3-0 in my Swiss division, so the game differentials are actually mattering quite a bit. Though, of course, I mean, I can still lose the whole set. This is far from over. Okay, Metagross, Crocodile, we see Intimidate. That means less. Glad it's not like some sort of Moxie cheese. I mean, not cheese, but Moxie Sweeper. But I mean, that's unlikely if Scarf isn't on there. I figure, and we know Scarf's on Rotom. Okay. 3, 4, and Mirror A. I am loving these nicknames. Let's see. Sleep Powder's looking pretty good, as is Mudsdale, like, conceptually. So I will bring in Mudsdale, like, conceptually, and click Sleep Powder. Simple math. Ooh, Metagross swap out. Milotic. Oh, I am actually not too upset with the idea of Milotic going to sleep, particularly in light of the fact that Milotic, it's a slower Pokemon, so normally if I put it to sleep, it immediately burns a sleep turn, but because I got it on swap in, well, it would be asleep for 2 turns, except it was Chesto Berry. That's good info. And then Gunk Shot into Mudsdale. As long as I don't get poisoned here, I'm in a really good spot. If I do get poisoned, like, I at least have a defense boost and leftovers. Okay, I don't hate... my opponent made some plays. I'm glad I made, like, more of a cover play, but I don't hate the position. I'm just going to note that that's Gunk Shot and not Lorb, and then that's Chesto. And I'm sure it's competitive, my lord. Okay, let's see here. Hitting things seems cool. I'm going to high horsepower the Crocodile and sleep powder the Milotic. The reason for high horsepower on Crocodile is because I prefer to not get intimidated, and to get intimidated, my opponent has to swap out Crocodile and high horsepowering the Crocodile slot just sort of says, hey, if you're going to be swapping around, whatever you're bringing in is going to take damage and be punished for it. All right, Milotic, I note, is now at has taken 1 turn of sleep, and I was faster than the Crocodile with my Vivillon, which is expected because I'm max speed. What I kind of want here is Floette on the field to do some damage trading, and then, well, what I really want is to get Trick Room up. But how do I get that done? And I think the answer is I swap here and Sleep Powder here. And yes, Milotic might wake up, but that's okay. Because, yeah, I want to get Trick Room up before Metagross gets back on the field in an ideal world. Okay, they protect. As long as Milotic doesn't wake up here, I'm in a great spot. And if Milotic does, I'm in a fine spot. I'll note that there's Protect on the... Okay, so the 1-turn sleep is definitely unlucky, but so be it. Let's see. But yeah, now I can send out Floette and click Dazzling Gleam plus Trick Room, and I mean my opponent can swap in Metagross, but then Metagross is actually like those attacks are gonna hit. So I don't hate this. And unless it's a really, like, even with no speed investment, this should have like 122 speed on Floette. Like, if that's not a fast Crocodile, it's not gonna be able to get like a cheeky knockoff into Slowking or anything, because Dazzling Gleam's just gonna like obliterate it. And my opponent doesn't know that it's a slow Floette right now, even if it's maybe guessable based on just the matchup. So they have to be wary about like leaving Crocodile in. But also, okay, but I mean, also, like, I do think that my opponent's best play was leave Crocodile in, as they did, because, like, even if Crocodile goes down here, like, At least you aren't like. At least you're getting a free swap in. You know. Oh nope, it's fast and it knocked out my Slowking. That's actually extremely bad. Um. Okay, yeah, that's not good at all. And then there is the Mirror Coat, which, yeah, that really hits. That is an exceptionally bulky Milotic, wow. Just looking at the percent of health that I dealt and the percent of health that I took by Mirror Coat. Um, I mean, not that I guess maybe I would be dumb to expect a not exceptionally bulky Milotic. All right. Can Milotic solo? I mean, can a Mudsdale solo everything? And the answer is no. Okay. The answer is how do I win from here? And the answer is I need Milotic exploded, right? Like, um, I kind of have to just ignore the Sneasler, and I think just go for the whatever damage I can onto the Milotic. I'm actually gonna protect here and try to take a Dire Claw to keep Sneasler distracted just a little longer. It's a bit of a call, but I mean I can't afford to not make calls at this point because I'm so far behind. So that was the correct play from my opponent probably, and get the damage down before the stamina. If I'd just gone for like a Moonblast there into the Milotic, my position was actually like bad but not terrible. But no, no, I would no. That covered for everything except specifically Mudsdale protecting, and no, that just covered for everything, and I just lose. Dang, that's really unfortunate, especially because it looks like, you know, even if I win, like not going 2-0 is tough for my record in the division, but like obviously winning versus losing the week is a pretty big deal. So it is an even bigger deal. So I got to lock in for game 3. All right, I think I'm gonna mix it up to the last two now because Crocodile pinning my Trick Room mode and my Trick Room mode being really solid, like Crocodile pinning my Trick Room setter and my Trick Room setter being really solid into my opponent's team is yeah less that was like my trigger mode's really solid. My opponent needs to punish that. It seems like that Crocodile is a way they can punish that, and they figure that out. So yeah, I think I lead Pult this time, and that gives me a lot of flexibility. Like I don't think there's anything on my opponent's team that I outright hate to see. The scariest thing would be Crocodile, but I'll just like you turn out in that case probably, or Wispit. Um, and Metagross, which makes me not really want to lead Floette here. Hmm, let's see. I think if I bring both of my bottom two, I don't have to bring Mudsdale. And I think I want to start by just applying lots of sleep powder pressure. Uh, I will try these four. Um, yeah. Obviously, this is a little hairy, but I think that as long as I don't like make too many mistakes, or I should be in a, I should have pretty good odds. Okay, Metagross and Metagross and Sneasler. What I'm most scared of here is Fake Out into Vivillon is like a really bad because it breaks Sash, and it's important to note that I don't have a way to like I don't have a sorry, I gotta think through the turn rather than think about talking for a moment. Need to force up the Mega Evolution. I'm gonna bet the game on Wisp and swap to Floette. If Floette drops here, I don't think it's actually as bad as losing the Focus Sash. I'll take a burn on my Lodic. There's the Fake Out. No Poison Touch, but it's probably unburdened because we saw the White Herb. I think. And they don't know I'm Scarf yet because they faked out and swapped. So they don't know that I was moving at like really fast speeds there just yet. Let's see. Yeah, I'll Will-O-Wisp the other slot there. Like that chip damage on my Lodic is definitely gonna add up. I could like just Mega Evolve and Protect. I actually like that a lot. This is because once the burn's down, I can pivot around a lot more comfortably. Oh, my computer's about to die. Probably should do something about that. Okay, that's plugged into the wall. I saw nothing that happened. Will-O-Wisp into the Protect. We've now seen Protect on Sneasler. Alright, I looked down from what I was writing, but based on the amount of damage I took, that like has to be exactly Ice Beam, right? So I'm gonna look really dumb in the recording if I got that wrong, but I'm gonna assume that that was Ice Beam. And then, let's see. Can I afford to let Dragapult just go down here to get to keep the burn pressure up? I actually think that I can, and I also, furthermore, I think that I should. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for the burn and the damage. I miss the Will-O-Wisp. Oh no. And that's Gunk Shot. Okay. Well, that was the worst that turn could have possibly played out. But I guess that's what I get for betting on Will-O-Wisp. Icy Wind. Okay. Ah, dang. Yeah, and now I have to give a competitive boost, and I've done, like, no damage. Getting that Dazzling Gleam off was a huge deal, and that was contingent upon it either being Dire Claw or Poison Jab rather than Gunk Shot, or just the Will-O-Wisp hitting. So, like, what needed to happen there was either Will-O-Wisp to hit or Gunk Shot to miss, and it just was not it. The burn on my Lodic is bad because I can't even Sleep Powder it now. Like, it has the Chesto Berry, but so that doesn't even matter. I think I'm completely and utterly cooked in every way, shape, and form. I'm gonna be taking a Scald on Arcanine. Let's see. How do I not? Do I have any way out of this? I think if I might. Okay. I just need my damage down. Okay. Wow, that's really not good. My mental is maybe not in the best place because. Darn. Yeah, I lost focus and I don't even know what my Arcanine's gonna click now. It's just Heat Wave. Okay. I mean, not the worst situation, but nothing's good enough here. Oh, and I got the burn. I was trying to Wisp it at the very end there, which in retrospect was a mistake because I needed to get damage down. So this was whoa, like I know it's competitive boosted, but wow, that hit. Um, but I lose because uh, what I needed wasn't. What I needed here wasn't the. What I needed here was the tailwind because I could pollen puff out and maybe have an out that way, but now no matter what I do, I think I just lose. Because yeah, the burn damage reduction doesn't matter when I have no HP remaining. Um, yeah, I think I'm just completely and utterly cooked. Yeah, I mean, uh, what am I gonna do about that one? Um, the answer is I could have played game. I am certain, like I don't as I don't have like a full perfect recall of this match thus far, but like I'll go back and watch the recording and see what I can learn from it because I am sure I did not play it correctly. Um, I'm happy with game one. I think game two and game three I started flailing a little, but I'm gonna need to go over the replay to re-examine that. Okay, I'm 3-1 in the league. I still should be on track to cut. There's going to be 6 matches of Swiss, 2 remaining. But this was, of course, a huge blow, and yeah. Game two, I should I yeah no I'm not even going to try and do like a past analysis without having actually gone over it because I kind of went into like VGC panic mode a bit after some things went catastrophically wrong, and so I'm not going to try and evaluate a matchup based on hazy memory. But yeah, I'll be back hopefully at the top of my game for next week, and yeah, I guess I got to lock in from here. That obviously did not go quite as hoped, but after some reflection, I'm not too upset about it. The main issue there was that I played in a way that leaned into luck in a bad way, and by that I mean I played in a way where I needed luck to go my way. I needed to hit my Will-O-Wisps, I needed my 2-turn sleep just to stay in the game. But if luck went my opponent's way, they'd pretty much win on the spot, and I got burned, right? I also think that my game 3 leads and the 4 in the order were not very well thought out. So, and part of the reason for that was after I was shocked that I just dropped to Crocodile with Slowking, and I kind of entered like a bit of a panic mode, which clouded my decision making. So I'm gonna try. I gotta, sort of continue to focus even when things don't go my way. I'll take steps towards that in future matches, both Draft League and future VGC. As far as the league overall goes, I pretty much need to win the last 2 matches of the regular season to lock my slot. Though if I win only one, I'll still have a pretty good chance of making cut, I think. And so that brings us to next week, where I'll be facing the Shinx Banhammers. Delphox Mega Gyarados is pretty spooky, especially with a few of the supporting pieces here. Sylveon's pretty scary because it can take advantage of Fairy Aura too. And I note that this team seems really strong into both of my Megas, but I also did draft specific supporting pieces to have a matchup into this team. So it's absolutely something I could lose, but if I build as best I can and play as best I can, there's no reason I shouldn't be able to take my 4th win in week 5. Yeah, until next week, goodbye.